Question 9, which expression is equivalent to the given expression? So we see this expression. The first thing I'll note is we're going to need the power rule of exponents. And the power rule of exponents says when you raise an exponent to another exponent, to simplify, you're going to multiply those exponents together. So let's do that first. There's other ways to solve this, different orders, but this is the way I like to solve it. So first off, I'm going to rewrite the problem. And this is not necessary, but I like to do it. If it doesn't have an exponent, so like 4 doesn't have an exponent, technically has an exponent of 1. Same thing with the x term. It has an exponent of 1. The y has an exponent of 3. The x in the denominator has an exponent of 2. This just helps us see, okay, that we're going to apply this power rule to all of these bases inside the parentheses. So the 4 raised to the first power raised to the second is going to be rewritten as 4 raised to the 1 times the 2 power. The x raised to the first raised to the second is going to be x raised to the first times the second. And then we'll do the same thing with the y. Y raised to the third times the second power. And we'll do the same thing in the denominator. The x raised to the second times the second that's on the outside. All right, so we can simplify this further. It's going to be 4 raised to the second power. 1 times 2 is 2. That's going to be x raised to the second power because 1 times 2 is 2. It's going to be y raised to the 6th power because 3 times 2 is 6. All over x raised to the 4th power because 2 times 2 is 4. Finally, we can simplify this a little bit further. 4 squared is 16. We have an x squared divided by an x to the 4th. So yeah, the quotient rule says when you divide variables, you subtract the exponents. And that's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it, though, that I think makes more sense rather than memorizing a bunch of rules, is x squared is really just x times x. It's just 2 x's multiplied by themselves. X to the 4th is just x times itself 4 times. So if we think about it that way, how many of those x's are going to cancel out? Well, this x is going to cancel out and divide out, and so is this one. And what do we have left with? We have x times x, or in other words, x squared, but it's in the denominator. And then finally, we have this y to the 6th all by itself at the top. That's our answer choice.